The UK story is a good example of this, right? This claim that crypto asset trading should be regulated as gambling reflects some understanding of crypto, because I think that there are sectors where that's actually accurate. I mean, if you look at like a meme coin, I pretty much tend to agree with assessments that those things are what you might call a decentralized Ponzi scheme. But the question becomes then, if your approach is just to say that the entire thing is that, then you're missing a lot, and you're shutting down things that could have positive impacts, and that are real investable assets and systems that have the potential to help people. And I think that you're seeing the same thing in the United States, right? You're seeing this blanket approach. And that's the risk here, is that you're wiping out the positive use cases with the negative. You're not engaging with the substance of any of this when you're doing that kind of blanket condemnation. And so you're going to see missed opportunities. Jen, I saw you wanted to get in.
I saw Zach's hand first, so I'll throw it over and then I'll snag it from him after.
I think the specificity is a super good point. And we've seen in the last 6 months a bunch of people in the industry trying to make that distinction between tech crypto and money crypto, right? Tech crypto, the stuff underlying a lot of these cryptocurrencies, can be transformative, pro-social, and help people lead better financial lives. A lot of the money crypto stuff, you're right, especially that subsection of the money crypto portion, the meme coin section. We say it all the time. It is kind of like gambling. It's a bit like buying a lottery ticket, right? There's not a lot of real utility or underlying functionality beyond just getting a thrill from watching the number rise or fall, which can be, entertaining and useful, I guess, in its own right. But certainly there are other parts of the money crypto conversation, that look more serious and more grown up, right? Whether that's Bitcoin and sort of the institutional embrace of some of these more established crypto assets as something that their clients should be dealing with. We see that as well. So I think, again, like the call for specificity, both from within the industry and more broadly, I think is really important, so that, the baby is not tossed out with the bathwater, because there are some unsavory bits of the crypto world that certainly maybe deserve a bit of a crackdown, while there's other stuff that, could be transformative. But Jen, I'll toss it to you. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. I'm curious, David, as to your opinion, if you think that, whose responsibility is it? Is it government's responsibility to kind of make the definition between, tokens that could be considered gambling, like meme coins, and then the crypto that actually has this underlying technology that is going to innovate and drive the financial sector forward? Because I look at what's happening in the UK, right? And they say, crypto is gambling. And then they say, we're looking into a digital pound, and we're looking into a digital pound to restore trust into the financial system. And in the messaging I hear when they talk about the digital pound is very similar to that of crypto. And so I'm curious, whose responsibility do you think it is to do this differentiating? And do you think that sometimes the messaging is tweaked as to maybe sway people towards a digital currency that is created by the government instead of one that is truly decentralized?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a side issue, but I have to make the point that, if you're making the argument that you're going to digitize your currency and that's going to increase financial system faith in your currency, that's incoherent. That doesn't make any sense. That's not why you issue a CBDC. So, that's silly. But as far as the government role in classifying assets, I think there are two different answers there. And one is, maybe there is some technical definition that through discussion and iteration, you can actually find to put into legislation that would differentiate between something that has an actual application and something that doesn't. I think that's a slim chance that you can actually find a really solid technical definition that makes that distinction. So really the important thing then becomes around disclosures, business plans, asset matches, and other more fundamental things that you can lay out in a document, for example, that's required if you want to trade an asset on an exchange that's being regulated. A little bit like securities disclosures, even if we don't want these things defined as securities. And so that disclosure then becomes a ground for people to make their own decisions about how they want to invest in an informed and hopefully reliable and enforceable way, so that you don't just have disclosures that are full of lies. And I think that most crypto advocates would support that second scenario, where you have a rigorous disclosure framework that doesn't rely on specific definitions to make those distinctions.